Hello, social media people. It's Ben from Warralily. So where am I today? I am sitting with Marika Johnson from GFG. So if you're not aware, GFG, Geelong Financial Group. So we'll point out straight away, Marika, where are you guys located?
We're located at 259 Latrobe Terrace, two-storey red building directly behind Matthew Flinders. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I'll also get out of the way a bit of a disclaimer at the start. Marika and GFG have assisted both my wife and myself over the last 8 to 10 years to get into our first home. They've also assisted us getting into our first investment property.
Yep.
And fingers crossed, will be assisting us with our second one. So when I say I highly recommend their services, it's from a personal experience. So I'll get that out of the way. Marika, I know in my specific role, I get asked a lot in regards to, I'm thinking of doing something, but I'm not sure who I should speak to. Should I speak to a bank, one of the big four, or should I have a chat to a broker?
Okay.
So if you can just illustrate a couple of key points that you see that clearly differentiate going straight to the bank as opposed to sitting down and having a conversation with you.
Okay. Well, as you know, Ben, my background was that I was with the bank for a long time, a major bank. And I've been a broker now for just over 5 years.
Yep.
So the thing that is different that I love, that gives us a lot of options, I suppose, is we deal with 25 different lenders.
Yep.
Okay. Now the biggest thing there is it's not just. Most people think that if you go to any particular lender, everybody's got the same rules, but it's very, very different. Every lender has different policies. You know, there's some banks that'll take 1 year self-employed tax returns. Yep. Some banks only use 80% of overtime and bonuses. Others use 100%.
Yep.
So it gives us the option to not only find the best deal and rate for the client, but also the policy comes a lot into it as well.
Yeah, so you sit down, you have a conversation with the person, they explain what their circumstances and situations are, and then you then specifically find the most suitable
correct
lender for them.
That's exactly right.
So you've got, as you said, you've got 25 lenders, so they should run the gamut of the different options. So then if you are a obviously person who wants to get in the market, going to a broker would theoretically give you the best possible chance to obviously get the appropriate loan and then go from there.
That's correct. Yeah. Definitely. So lots
Excellent.
of options for the client.
Now I know there's a couple of other things that during my experience with you guys that certainly I thought were quite interesting things. One of those was, especially given the prevalence with land, so for instance Warralily, if you were to come in today to purchase a block of land, more than likely that land's not titled or constructed. So there is a little bit of time between when you'd sign a contract to when you'd actually have to get finance approval and settle.
Yes.
So one of the things I was interesting that you guys indicated that you do, and obviously you've done with me, is you will actually go through a pre-approval process, the full pre-approval process, as much as you can, at the start when you first come in contact with a client.
That's correct. So the difference with us is, and we see it all the time, where a client will come in and say, their bank actually said, look, come back in 6 months' time or 12 months' time and we'll do an approval then because it's so far away, it's not worth it. However, as you know, most people put a subject to finance clause in a contract. So we always like to get a full pre-approval completed for the client. Now the lenders we use, we supply all income documents, bank statements, everything, so that everything's assessed for that client. Generally the pre-approval goes through everything except getting the valuation done,
which
on
is
the
the step you can't get.
It's a step. So we basically get it 98% approved for the client, which gives them some certainty.
Yeah, some comfort. So they should have comfort knowing, and obviously all things being equal, that nothing out of their control drastically happens.
Exactly.
But when it comes to the time when obviously the valuer can access the site for evaluation, that more than likely they will be in a position to get finance.
That's right. And the other good thing about it is if the client is doing it as an investment property, we also can order a valuation up front with most of our lenders before we get through all the approval stage and put the client through everything and then say, the valuation's come in low, we can't help you anymore. So that's a big thing.
Definitely. I mean,
to get done.
And people can get their hopes up. Like
Absolutely.
You want to be, especially if someone, and I know with myself, you can get sort of drawn into the whole process. I love building and buying and going through. Obviously, you guys are assisting the process, but really, you don't want to be too far down the track.
No.
And then realise, well, all that time and effort, because it is a bit of effort, was all for naught. Yeah.
It's a lot of effort for everybody, but it's very important that it's done.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the land's 18 months away from being settled, we then go back through the whole process and make sure that lender's still the best option for the client as well.
Yep. So you'll reassess, see if anything's changed.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
And we're also very particular on the fact that we point out to the client, your financial position needs to remain the same. You know, if you go and have another baby in between, or you change jobs, or take out a car loan, all of those things affect your pre-approval. And I quite often get clients ring me 8 or 9 months down the track and say, I need to get a car loan. And we'll do a quick check and make sure it still fits before they go ahead.
So top tip, always check with your broker.
Correct.
Before you do anything of a serious financial nature, and that obviously as much as possible.
Yeah.
Children.
That's right.
Yeah. Ask the broker. If the broker says no, well, the broker says no. Because sometimes you only get one shot at this.
That's right, and that's it, you do. So it means putting some things off, like changing jobs, but it's important that you're aware.
Well, in the long run, especially with the growth that's obviously occurring at the moment, it's a sensible way to go. So we might bring it to a close. This is really good, actionable info. Now, and I was going to throw this on Marika, we've got a first home buyer seminar that's going to be coming up in the spring. We'll certainly let everyone know about that, and there's a chance that Marika might be there to convey her sort of wisdom. So we hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time, Marika.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No worries.